You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
Hey, there it is. It is time for Happy Hour. It is the Man Cave Happy Hour. Whiskey, cigars, spirits, the stories that go along with it. I'm Jamie Flanagan.
I'm Matt Fox. Hey, I'm going bowling tonight.
Take the skinheads bowling. Take them bowling. Just don't take them to the governor's mansion because that won't play well.
Well, too soon. Too soon.
Yeah. No, you don't want to. Oh, my gosh.
Where'd that come from?
What are you thinking?
Me or you?
The skinheads.
Oh.
Well, they weren't skinheads, but
they weren't
crazy people.
Not in their right mind.
Not in their right mind.
Not at all.
Anyway.
Hey, welcome to Just a Taste.
Yeah, Just a Taste. Man Cave Happy Hour. We are in the palatial Podcast Detroit Northville studios.
Been here for a few hours.
Yeah, we have. Recorded a little Detroit City of Champions.
We did.
Recorded a little Animal Talk.
We did.
And Sam Nork joined us.
She did.
She's pushing the buttons for the Man Cave today.
Thanks, Sam.
It's always great to have somebody, though she's grabbing pizza too.
Right.
And we had an Animal Talk today. It was an important show because we brought in one of the guys from the Sea Shepherd.
Yes.
.org, seashepherd.org. They used to have a TV show called The Whale Wars.
Right, that was on Animal Planet?
Animal Planet for forever. And we had Peter Hammerstead, Captain Peter Hammerstead.
Of the Bob Barker.
He's floating the Bob Barker now. Yeah. But they were talking about one of their new vessels and how they were trying to get out into the waters of Mexico because they've been dry docked for a while because of COVID, and they want to keep their crews safe. They want to keep the officials that come on board with them safe. Mm-hmm. But there is a massive problem, and we got an animal going extinct. There's about 20 of them left. There's these little porpoises.
Porpoise.
Little porpoise.
Yeah.
And I've just been saying the name wrong all day. But it's these little porpoises. They're starts with a V.
He said it a number of times.
Yeah.
Queens?
That's close enough.
Yeah, okay.
But but there's like only 20 of them left, and it's not like they're being hunted. They're getting caught up in the nets while they're hunting these other fish. Yeah. But the other fish are endangered too, and it's illegal to fish them, so they're out there pulling up the nets. So it was really cool to talk to Peter on Animal Talk. So
someone who truly is out there trying to make a difference.
People are like, they get their checks with like some sort of I don't want to badmouth anybody like PETA or anything. But if you want to give money to an organization that's really doing something, the seashepherd.org, those guys really do some amazing work. Yep. So we've been running podcast craziness all day.
You know what? And why not finish the evening with just a taste of something?
Nice dram.
With a nice little dram of something that you've never had before.
And that's the thing, just a taste. We like to try things that we haven't done. And talking about screwing up names.
Come on,
Michters?
Jamie. Michters. Yeah,
Michters.
man, Michters.
Because it doesn't look like Michters.
Yeah.
Looks like Michigan or something. Mitchners?
Michters. Yes.
I don't know. All right, but it's just Michters.
This is their small batch.
It's just, small batch.
It's a small batch. And that's for me personally, Jamie. I've always gravitated towards small batch versions of bourbon. Your Four Roses.
What makes something a small batch?
I really don't know. I just like, because I don't know if it's...
it looks pretty on the label, so I figured I'll get it.
I'd have to look up...
Go good. No, to keep going where you're going, and I'll dive into that.
I've always gravitated towards a small batch because it's... not universally out there. Mm-hmm. It's something that's out there periodically, and if I see something that says small batch, I'd like to give it a try. And I saw Michter's on the shelf. The price point was actually right on par with what I was looking to spend.
Right.
And I've had it in the past, but I never had the small batch. I'd had the regular Michter's at one point in time, and I'll tell you, it surprised the heck out of me as to how drinkable it really was.
So the difference between like a single barrel, a small batch, and then your regular version.
Educate me.
So your single barrel comes from
one barrel.
A single barrel. I'm smart.
Really?
I know how to count to one. I can get there.
Thanks for that.
I can't sing you a song today because I forgot my teeth. But I have no idea where that came from.
Neither do I, but it works.
So a single barrel is from a single barrel. A small batch is from a relatively small batch of barrels mixed together. And then the regular ones are just they're larger vats and larger quantities pulled together for a particular taste. But small batches can have their own personalities. Mm-hmm. So it's Michter's small batch this year may not be the same as Michter's small batch next year. It may have a slightly different profile. When you get the Michters, Michters, yeah,
Michters.
I see. I was segueing into the wrong thing. I convinced myself into the wrong thing. When you get Michters next year, it's going to be relatively the same. The small batch may have a slightly different profile as it moves, and your single barrels are going to vary from barrel to barrel
because it really depends on how long they've been in that barrel itself.
Who picked it, what they were going for. Right. It's going to have it's going to be related to it. They'll definitely be cousins, but it could have a very different profile. Yeah,
interesting. And one of the things that I've learned just by reading a few things about Michters this evening and some of the research I did was, the bourbonculture.com did a review, and you said, the one in 2018 is probably different from 2017, right?
Right.
So the bourbonculture.com, they did their own review in 2018 of the small batch Michters, right? But one of the things that they had talked about was, Michter's is actually a good starting drinkable bourbon for your novices to start out on.
Oh, okay.
Because it only comes in at 90 proof. Yeah. And it's a good way to kind of launch your palate into the bourbon culture itself.
All right.
So, and that's where a lot of folks will start to experiment. Before they start to experiment with other things, they'll start with the Michters. Because it is very drinkable. And I'm saying it right, man. I really am.
After a couple of these, maybe you'll start experimenting too. How you doing?
See?
You up for some experimenting tonight, Matt? I don't know. That just got really
I said I was
weird.
going bowling, didn't I?
Oh, yeah.
Fun.
It's got weird.
I've actually had a few nips already, but okay. Anyway.
Speaking of nips,
there's
a porn star martini.
Is there? What's his name?
Porn star martini.
Really?
Yeah, it's just a porn star martini. We can talk about that later.
Oh, okay.
Should we talk about it?
Let's talk about it now.
Because it popped up. I was like, interesting, because I was mixing some cocktails, right?
Over the weekend?
Yeah. Well, it's Thursday. We're recording this on a Thursday. Whenever people happen to listen. Yeah, normally we do this on Tuesdays, but we're whatever. So, so over the weekend and every day since, I've been mixing some cocktails at home, and I did a Manhattan yesterday.
You mentioned that yesterday.
So pulled a fine bourbon off the shelf, and then it was what did I have? I had some Rabbit Hole. Yeah, a nice Rabbit Hole. I dove down the rabbit hole, and then but a Manhattan, the way I did it, the recipe I was following called for sweet vermouth. Mm-hmm. So it's 2 shots of the bourbon.
Okay.
A 3/4 shot of your sweet vermouth.
Okay.
And then bitters. 3 dashes of bitters.
But
for our good friend Tara,
said
she normally when she's mixing the cocktails, she ramps it up and goes 6 or 8 even.
Yeah.
So I went 6. Mm-hmm. And because I remember when we were talking to Tara and talking about making those cocktails, I was like, I never quite get that feel, the taste that I get when she does it or another, experienced craft bartender makes it for me. But this week I've done it 2 or 3 times and I've put the extra bitters in.
Yeah.
And it was closer to that taste of
what you get at the restaurants.
And that's it. And because I'm at home, I was like, well, 2 shots of bourbon. It's like, well, I want more than 2 shots of bourbon, But the other thing she said was the mix is important, right? Mm-hmm. And so to follow the recipe, right? And so if you want to, Drinky McDrinkmeister, just make a second one later, dang it. I didn't. I behaved myself. I just had the one.
It was a school night.
I know. It was a school night. Yeah. But so I behaved myself. So I did just the one. But I followed the recipe. So I put the extra bitters in, and it is closer to that taste. And I did it with an old fashioned earlier in the week, and it was closer to that taste of the craft cocktail smoky lounge that I was after. But I was looking up some recipes.
Okay.
I told you that story to tell you this story.
You know what? Tell me a story. Another one.
But I was looking for it because, and then I was like looking for cocktails to make, and this one popped up. I got to share this with Matt. It's just because it's called a porn star martini.
Oh, okay.
And you know me, throw an umbrella in it. I'm happy. I'd like, daiquiris. And
you like a Cosmo
margaritas. I'll drink a Cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
Colleen will get mad. We're out at a nice bar. She's dressed up. I'm dressed up. We're on a date. I go, I have a Cosmopolitan, and she'll just go, I married this thing. What was I doing? But yeah. So I'm not afraid of I'm a girl drink drunk. What are you gonna do? So
You said it, not me.
I am. It's okay. So this martini does not remotely resemble the classic. This is coming off of liquor.com is where I found some of the recipes when we've done a couple where we're trying to play mix masters, and a lot of our recipes were coming off of this liquor.com. I like the stuff they put out there. All right. So bartender was thinking, what would a porn star order? And so he came up with this, it reminds him of a stripper's perfume. I don't know. I guess this is not quite.
Get a little glitter on your lips when you take a sip? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Or?
I guess maybe. I don't know. So in any case, this is a crowd-pleasing combination of vanilla passion fruit accompanied by a shot of sparkling wine. And yeah, so its origins from London's Townhouse Bar in the early 2000s and adopted all over the world. So we got 1.5 ounces of vanilla flavored vodka.
Okay.
Vanilla. I wonder if you could do it just like straight up vodka,
right?
And maybe a dash of vanilla.
It's right there, Zim's.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Because I don't like the flavored vodka. I don't normally stock up on the flavored vodka.
Neither do I.
I go straight up with the Zims. All right, so 1.5 ounces of the vanilla flavored vodka, 1/2 ounce of passion fruit liqueur. It's out there. 1 ounce of passion fruit puree.
Okay, so we got vanilla, stripper name.
Passion fruit.
Passion fruit, stripper name. Okay.
Puree.
Could be.
That's an upcharge. I don't even know what that means. A 1/2 ounce of lime juice, freshly squeezed.
That's a downcharge.
And then a 1/2 ounce of vanilla simple syrup.
Okay.
Oh, there's a hyperlink to vanilla simple syrup. 2 ounces of sparkling wine. And a half of a passion fruit as a garnish, and then you mix it all about. Yeah, so
turn your life around. All right,
you can serve the sparkling wine as a sidecar, or make it a bigger drink altogether. So that is the porn star martini with passion fruit.
So is that a double charge then?
We may have to dig up some passion fruit because that sounds nice.
It actually does sound refreshing.
Yeah. I like mixing it up, right?
Fair.
But when we're doing bourbons, which we do time to time and often, do them neat.
Do them neat first.
Neat, yes.
Do them neat first, and then you can experiment with your Manhattans,
so
or
Michters,
your best New York sour, or God forbid you start getting into the more elaborate stuff that's out there. When you go to a craft cocktail place and they're making caffeinated bourbon drinks for you,
Ooh, yeah. All right, so this is Michter's,
yeah.
Batch number 20G 1542. If that means anything to anybody.
Yeah. It's on the bottle. It's got to mean something.
That's it. So, distilled in small batches. According to Michter's pre-Revolutionary War quality standards dating back to 1753.
There's a rumor out there that, that these actually are, they age in the old Forester warehouses.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of what the rumor is out there, for storage. Old Forester, they heat their warehouses in the winter for a period of time,
right?
Effectively giving the whiskey that other heat cycle and another heat cycle for the whiskey to mature in the barrel itself.
Who are we talking to? Oh, our friends in Tel Aviv in Israel, and they say that they're because of the heat, that the whiskey matures
quicker.
The whiskey they make there is matures quickly. So those hot summers, that heat will do it.
Yep.
You know, be in the upper rafters. That stuff is getting hot.
Yeah, and little angels something for you.
Holy smokes! All right, so you said this was a good.
You just knows this, didn't you?
This was a good entry level. Ah, there it is. I love the pop. You said this was a good entry level. For
at 90 proof, it's a good entry level because it's going to give you some profiles immediately, and you're not going to get that ethanol. I got no ethanol the first time I had this.
Do I smell bacon?
You might. You just had some pepperoni on a pizza, so your palate might be taking you that way. You got that meat flavor thing going on your palate.
Maybe I should have had something to drink because I'm like getting like a candied.
You're not
like bacon, but like so I'm getting like the candied bacon.
Mm-hmm. You're probably going to get
so that smoke and that candy.
Yeah, a little brown butter feel maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's where that can is. That is like that maple brown sugar. Yeah. But you're getting a little bit of sweetness out of that. Yeah, Sam's not even paying attention.
Yeah, no. Our audience. Aw, Sam.
So you're going to get some caramel out of that. So you're getting some sweetness.
That first blast was that candied, smoky bacon.
Yeah,
it wasn't really the bacony, but it was the candied part of it.
Got it.
Right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily the meaty part of it.
You go to the Green Hornet there in Madison Heights area, and you get their candied bacon. That's kind of what I get out of it on the nose a little bit.
Yeah.
That candied bacon feel.
All right.
Yeah. But, it's on the nose on the bourbonculture.com. They're saying, baked goods. You get a little bit of that warmth, baked good feel.
That was like the cooked something, yeah.
Right. This, getting a little streusel out of it.
Right, the streusel.
Yeah, streusel.
One day, no streusel.
Hey, Miss Sam, would you mind minimizing that? Thank you.
It's okay.
I want to see myself.
I know.
Just minimize it. Yeah.
There it is.
Sweet. Thank you. But you haven't tasted this yet.
No.
Because you're still nosing on it.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know what you feel you're going to get on the palate. Because I don't want to say a word. Because I already know what I got out of it when I had this 2 weeks ago after the first debate.
Should I just try it? Is that what you're saying? Oh yeah, the first debate would definitely dry it.
The first debate is what.
All right, honey, I need to crack a bottle. I'm sorry.
I cracked it right when it started. So
good Lord. All right. To be a fly on the wall. Too soon.
No, not at all.
Or on the heat. So
Heat.
was it has anybody superimposed Don's face on that?
I did see that.
Oh, okay.
Or did you see the fly with the Biden Harris?
Yeah. I like the Mr. Miyagi with his chopsticks coming in at it. All right, so I'm tasting the Michter.
All right, Michter's.
That's what I said.
You're gonna get it. I promise you'll get it by the end of just the taste. All right, so Jamie's diving in.
Right to start.
God. All right, man. Take a sip.
Oh, all right.
So yummy. I enjoy the heck out of this because it's so easily drinkable. It is drinkable. And you have to really pay attention when you are drinking on the Michters because it is that drinkable. You'll find yourself 3-4 drinks later, neat, and next thing you're seeing vapor trails almost.
Yeah. Well, okay, because here's the thing, right?
Go for it.
Bourbon is bourbon is bourbon.
Yes, it is.
Right. But they're minute differences in them. There's a couple that I don't like. That I'm like, we haven't done our rating system. We'll do our rating system.
Yeah.
But there are some that are dead to me. Oh wow, nosing it again. Almost like an icing.
Oh, nice. Like a vanilla icing almost, or
yeah. Not buttercream, but yeah. Vanilla nose. The nose after having sipped it. I'm getting an icing.
Oh, it's rested on your palate. You've had a chance for it to mull over a little bit. I get, there's a little bit of spice, a little bit of that heat, but it's not overpowering anyway. It's like a very faint cinnamon feel to it, but it's like you're almost drinking a rye at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? That's the kind of the heat that you're getting at the onset.
I'm not getting, when
I say heat, I mean it's not biting my face off.
But there's a flavor in here, and you know and I go to because I'll listen to a couple other bourbon podcasts.
Sure.
And there's the guy does just great stuff, the Whiskey Cast, and he does his tasting and his tasting notes, and he is so precise, and and I think he's a cat that we talked about. He really suggested. Just going to, it's like somebody asked him how does he do his tastings and how does he come up with this, all these descriptions, and he's like, well, you have to have the frame of reference. He goes, so go to the grocery store and smell the spices. He goes, pick up the fruits and
stick them in your face.
I guess right now people get a little pissed off if you're picking up a batch of parsley.
Yeah, you can't do that to the oranges, man.
You're going to motorboat the parsley and put it back on the shelf. People are going to get a little ticked off nowadays.
What? I'm getting my palate
Whoa,
educated.
I'm working on my palate here. What's wrong with you people? Ain't you never seen somebody being classy before? What the hell? All right, so, but yeah, and so, they I hate to steal from him, but he mentions like allspice and baking spices sometime, and there's something in here that's in the neighborhood of that for me. Something in a baked good department, maybe not quite a glazed donut, maybe the glazing on a donut, not a glazed donut, but the glazing on a donut. A Krispy Kreme, not the taste of the donut, but the taste of the taste and the smell of the icing itself.
Krispy Kreme is still not open on the inside. You can't go in and get your free Krispy Kreme when the red light's on.
You're dead on the inside because Krispy Kreme isn't open on the inside.
Just give me a flippin' donut, okay? Now but you kind of nailed it, Jamie, from the very beginning. This is a very caramel.
The icing. It's the icing.
A lot of candy, feeling on the Michter.
But it's not. It's not hit you in your molars sweet when you're tasting it.
And then
it's decidedly a bourbon. I mean, it's decidedly a bourbon. But again, it's like I said, a bourbon is a bourbon is a bourbon.
Right.
But. If we pause and really do that, because I can drink any bourbon. There's a couple that I'm like, that's a High West,
yes, and
then Smooth Ambler. They do a lot of crazy stuff inside their drinks. So they really, I don't know, not because if they're bourbons, they can't be infused with anything, but they through the aging process, they introduce some really dramatic flavors into things. So when I say, there are bourbons that have like some pretty freaked out flavors in them. I mean, to be a bourbon, you can't have any flavoring, but those flavors and ideas are introduced through the woods and the things it was soaked in.
The char.
So but like Smooth Ambler and the other one I said. Often introduce High West, introduce like some crazy good, like High West, a campfire one.
Oh, wow.
It tastes like a freaking campfire. So, I mean, when I say, but generally speaking, bourbons are bourbons until you really pause and break it down. Because if I just drink this, it's just bourbon. It's a very nice bourbon, It's not sweet hitting you on your molars or anything, but it is very nice.
Yeah. It's a drinkable bourbon for someone that is just getting started in the bourbon world. This is a good starter.
You might want to leave that here in the studio.
I am. I'm telling you, I am, because we do talk bourbon quite a bit when we have folks come in, and we want them to partake. We want them to be able to feel comfortable, and sometimes a drink will do that. But this is a good starter because a lot of folks don't like bourbon.
Right.
But this is if someone wants to learn about it.
Yeah, because we got some fun stuff. We got some
really
single barrel Jim Beam over there. We got some Jesse Jane from our bottom shelf pick.
But you took that rabbit hole home.
I took that rabbit hole.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was being selfish with the rabbit hole.
The reason why I can leave this here is because the price point. The price.
What was it? Yeah.
It was $39.99.
Oh, really?
MSRP, yeah.
I thought it was more than that.
No. It is for the drinkability and for the price point. It's a good everyday drinker.
Okay, yeah.
It truly is, or it's a good bottle to share with friends.
That's like your Eagle Rare. It's like right in that.
It's right on par with the four. I hate to say it, it's right on par with the Four Roses even.
Yep.
the small batch Four Roses. It's right there.
You know,
with
if I put the Eagle Rare, I put Four Roses next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I might go here.
Yeah, because it's
Just I'm digging the smell.
Yep.
Because I'll do that when I'm like I'll pour a bourbon, I'll like hop in the hot tub,
Mm-hmm.
and it just kind of sit there. I'll sniff it for a while before I sniff it a lot before I drink it. I'm sniffing it more than I'm drinking it.
That's how I can tell. Like it.
That's how I can like not have to have four. Because if I just drink them the way I want to drink them.
Yeah, it you know, the bourbonculture.com, they really do a nice job of explaining it. It really does. It's that satisfying. It's a complex sip that you're going to get yourself into, because every sip you might get something different, whether it be zest, a citrus zest out of it, or if you're getting a little bit of oak out of it at the same time. You know, it really finishes well with that clove too. When the first time I drank this, I was like, I was getting a little bit of clove on the back end.
Really?
As
Okay.
it finished on my palate. So, but all around for me, if we were to give it our rating system, which is what?
Oh yeah, it's screw, marry, kill.
Yeah.
So screw, are you just gonna do
Just
it
play around with
out and about?
Mm-hmm.
If your friend has it on a shelf, great.
Mm-hmm.
Get it at a restaurant, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Marry, you're buying it. You're taking it home.
Mm-hmm.
Kill, you're dead to me. Never doing it again. I'd marry this.
Yeah. I screwed around with it before. not gonna lie, I screwed around with it because I was out on a big ski trip,
Fair
and
play.
someone on the trip had a bottle of regular Michters, and
All
I
right.
tried it then. So I was screwing around with it.
All right, all right.
But then, as I gravitated more towards the small batch, I wanted
Right,
to try
right.
this, and you know, I married it, really never tasting it before.
Sure.
And that's one of the great things that I really enjoy about the Man Cave, is that we get to dive into things that we've never had,
Right.
and get to try.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, because we've been dealing with some bourbon manufacturers, and our friends in Tel Aviv,
Yes.
Tal and Tomer,
Yes.
Honey,
Milk and Honey.
Milk and Honey,
Land of, yes.
yeah, the whiskey there. So it's in them, and there's been some other small companies we've talked to, and it's like you'll sell a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to sell a bottle. It might be your packaging. It might be you're unique from the
Yes.
Middle East. You might have to say everybody's got a hook. Everybody's got a marketing hook.
Of course.
And you're going to sell a bottle.
Right.
Are you going to sell a second bottle?
Right.
Are you going to? That's the thing. Right. So therein lies the difference between a company that's going to go and not.
Here to here.
Yeah. So you'll sell a bottle to people. Will they buy a second one?
Yeah, you'll sell many bottles to one at a time.
Yeah.
But will they come?
Well,
back?
and that's where you're getting the repeat. What bourbon have you bought the most?
Me personally?
Yeah,
That's a great question.
Which bourbon or whiskey have you bought the most?
You know, when we first started the Man Cave, 2.5, 3 years, we're coming up on almost episode 100 here, hopefully by the end of this year. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing this for a couple of years, and almost 3. And when we first started doing this, I was buying Woodford a lot. Woodford
yes.
Reserve. And one of our very first episodes was
Yes.
with Woodford Reserve
Yes.
at Whiskey in the Winter.
That is correct, sir.
Right? But then I started getting into other things, and then it gravitated to Four Roses.
Yes.
And Four Roses is where I've been gravitating towards the most recently.
Okay.
Whether it be the original, I've taken that on a couple of ski trips, but then I got into the small batch, and I
Right.
really, really enjoy that small batch. And that's why I wanted to try the Michters tonight.
Yeah.
And actually buy the bottle, because I like small batch. I really do. The correlation as to, single batch or single barrel, small batch, I just like the flavor profiles of a small batch.
You can hang that Michter's over this way while you're talking.
Yeah, go right.
So what do you say is the bottle you're buying most frequently now?
The bottle I'm buying most frequently now is the Four Roses.
Four Roses, okay.
But now
Might
that
be-
I've had this, it's probably going to switch over to the Michter. And Michter's has other things out there. They have a rye. They
Yeah.
have a regular bourbon as well.
Yeah.
So I might go down the Michter's family, in all honesty, and just kind of try out their brand and their product.
All right. I had to do another little baby pour.
Yeah, please. That's what it's here for.
So for me, do you know what it is? Do you have a guess?
I would
what
almost.
what I've been purchasing the most frequently over our last 3 years.
Oh gosh, God, you've been buying you have a lot of bottles waiting to be consumed.
Oh, my gosh,
And I don't know
yeah.
if you're ever going to get to them in your lifetime.
Oh, we will. We will.
Oh, we will. Okay, fair enough. As long as you're sharing.
Yeah, hell yeah. I still got that Coppercraft from
do have it.
one of our first 4 episodes.
my-
I haven't cracked yet.
My daughter got me a bottle of Coppercraft for Christmas, or for my birthday or Father's Day. Yeah, it's gone.
No, I got one from
Holland, Michigan.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
That we haven't cracked yet.
Wow, I've had it.
Well, I've had it too. We had it there.
Yeah,
But it's just been sitting in the just waiting to
So if I could take a guess as to where you've been gravitating towards, I almost want to say Angel's Envy for some reason.
Oh, I've purchased. It gets all pricey though, because I like the rye. It's $100 a crack. I'm too dang cheap for that. There's 2. The Buffalo Trace.
Oh yes, the Buffalo Trace.
It followed closely, and then it would be close tie for second place of what I purchased the most frequently would be Elijah Craig, and then Long Branch.
All right,
I get that Long Branch in there, and then I end up knocking them out.
1-2 punch and it's done, or what?
I tell you, it's put a straw in it, and it's Saturday night.
Already?
No.
Well, it was just Tuesday. What the
Yeah.
hell happened?
That Long Branch from Wild Turkey. It's the one that Matthew McConaughey, and I didn't know that when I got it. It was like, oh, Texas mesquite in a bourbon. I'm like, this should be interesting. I go from Wild Turkey. That's interesting. And so I got it, and I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Nice.
And when I started, I was like looking to get the second bottle, and that's when it popped up that it was Matthew McConaughey working with Wild Turkey, and that was his blend, that because he's the Texas boy, and so he brought the Texas into it. So yeah, so it's
Texas boy hawking Lincolns. Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah. So it's like with frequency, it's like Buffalo Trace. It's like it's just always good to have, to share, to it's a good standard. And then so the Elijah Craig, and then the Long Branch. But God, I've bought more Buffalo Trace. I've purchased more Buffalo Trace.
We've had Buffalo
anything.
Trace on the show. We've mixed drinks with the Buffalo Trace on the show. We had Buffalo Trace at a fundraiser for puppy dogs. Mm-hmm. We mixed up a nice little summer.
That just
cocktail.
came up on my timeline as 1 year ago. It was
Has it
just
really?
like 2 weeks ago or something. Just in the last week and a half, that popped
The
up. that we just did
Rockabilly
that.
chili cook-off.
Yeah, I missed that with this crazy way the world is. We can't play and run with scissors the way we used to. Raven Blackfall
Who is?
chimed in on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
So drinking bourbon live from Hamtramck.
Oh, fair. Thanks, Raven.
So cheers. Thanks for joining along. People hanging out and drinking with us. We appreciate that. I like when people are drinking with us because I feel less like I'm drinking by myself.
Was Raven the only one that chimed in to say hi?
There were a couple of thumbs up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So Nick Krezi and Mike Dwyer and Michelle.
Oh, very nice. Thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks for drinking
Michelle
with
and the
us.
dog. What's the dog's name? Little white puffball. Michelle's puppy.
Butters.
Butters.
Yeah, we love the Butters. I get to see Butters not this Saturday, the following Saturday at a Halloween party.
Oh.
And guess who gets to play music?
Right.
Right, so
Right on,
little Halloween party and play some spooky tunes.
Okay.
As it is. But yeah, thanks for chiming in, guys. Appreciate that.
I don't know. That was nice. Thanks for sharing that, Matthew.
You're welcome. You know what? I always love to share a dram with you.
Yeah.
Because our people don't understand what happens after the microphones turn off, and the conversation after the fact.
It's a lot like this, though.
It kind of is, but not as uncolorful, we'll say. But I appreciate your friendship. Truly do.
Matt, it's just don't know how I'd get through without you.
All right. I appreciate you, sir.
Cheers.